two coaches. One was in the finals in 2021. The other one was in the finals in 2022. And now they're both on rebuilding teams. If you don't know what I'm talking about Ime Udoka for the Houston Rockets and Monty Williams for the Detroit Pistons. The question is, can they rebuild their teams, and if so, how fast? Who's in the better situation? I think Ime Udoka is in a better situation because he has a lot of tools in the toolkit. Let's if we look at the roster, I'm gonna look at the roster real quick for the Rockets. I know they have Jalen Green, Jabari Smith. They got Alperen Sengun, Kenyon Martin Jr., Tyree Eason, Kevin Porter Jr., Tata Washington, and Josh Christopher and Usman Garuba. Like, see, what people are not understanding about this Houston Rockets team is they don't. I don't know if Jalen Green can clearly be the guy. Like, I don't know if Jalen Green could be the guy. I watched him play. Um, he is get he's getting better, but he's still shooting sub 42%. He's shooting 42%, shooting 34% from three. He's a he's a dynamic athlete, but he's not the most efficient scorer. Um, Jabari Smith Jr. He struggled from the 3 point line, struggled from the field, but we seen he was an amazing defender, and he has length, switchability, versatility. He can rebound a little bit, so I like that. We know Alperen Sengun. He can he can facilitate, rebound, score in the low block. He's like they. I done heard the comparisons to like a poor man's Jokic, and he kind of is. Uh, Kenyon Martin Jr., another athlete. You know, he's gotten better from three, but he's still working on it. I think Tyree Eason has potential to be a lockdown wing defender. He has like Trevor Ariza type potential to me. I feel like Tata Washington will eventually work his way into the rotation. I like Usman Garuba as a defender, Josh Christopher as potential six man, but it's no standout guy on this team. There's no real life guard facilitator on this team. But if you look at how Ime Udoka coaches, he's a defensive coach, and he has a lot of defensive pieces on his team, especially with Jabari Smith, with Tyree Eason, Garuba. I think Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., they have enough size and athleticism to be serviceable defenders if they buy in. But I do think they need a facilitating guard, and they need a clear number one option. Can Jalen Green be that? Can Kevin Porter Jr. be that? I think a guy like Anthony Black would be perfect for Houston Rockets because you could slot him in and you could still play him, Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green at the same time. So like a potential lineup of Anthony Black, Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, and Alperen Sengun. I like that. And then you'll have Josh Christopher, Tyree Eason, Kenyon Martin Jr., Jay Shante, Garuba, those guys coming off the bench. You hear the Harden rumors, the Jaylen Brown rumors. I wouldn't even mind it because I don't just see a clear-cut number one guy that I'm in love with for this team. So I do think with how Ime Udoka coaches and just what he does as far as defense principles, I do think he would be a very good coach for this team with the pieces they got. They do need to add. They need to add a facilitating point guard. I think you add Anthony Black and you actually allow him to be the point guard, make the decisions, run the offense. I do like that. You could either go with a guy like Case and Wallace, but I think a guy or even a Min Thompson. But then it's like you know, I just feel like Houston they can do a lot. They can do a lot, especially what pick they got. I'm not sure what pick they got. I know they got a top 5 pick, so it's a lot of ways they can go. And I trust Ime Udoka, especially his defense, the pieces they got. I feel like they can make a play and push. He's gonna bring professionalism. I know that sounds crazy because we know what Ime got going on. It sounds crazy because we know what Ime got going on. But Ime gonna bring a professionalism to that team. He gonna bring a defensive mindset to that team, a seriousness that they last coach didn't have. I don't even remember that dude's name. The last coach they had, but I think Ime Udoka will be very good in Houston. Now the question is, what is Monty Williams going to do in Detroit? What is Monty Williams going to do in Detroit, man? I'm scared to look at this roster, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I think Detroit Pistons is probably the worst situation in the league, in my opinion, because let's keep it a buck. Their best player was Bojan Bogdanovic. I like Bojan Bogdanovic. Real good player. I really thought he was slept on in Utah. 33 years old, though, man. And he was a fourth option in Utah? Number 1 option in Detroit. Clearly their best player, in my opinion. Dude had shot like 49% from the field, 41% from 3. He averaged 22 a game. I think he was the best player on that team. I think Cade, I hate to say it, Cade, Texas, he's a Texas kid, but I hate to say it. I don't think Cade is going to be what we thought he was going to be. I still think he could be good. Borderline. I think he still has all-star potential. I'm not going to say all NBA potential yet for Cade, but I don't know if Cade is necessarily that guy. Even in the games he played, he shot bad. He was like 41% from the field. He was about 30% from 3. You know, he's not super athletic. He's a solid defender, but I remember people was trying to compare him to Luka. I never seen it. I thought he was a Paul Pierce type of player. And I just don't really like this roster. I'm not gonna lie to you. You got Cade, you got Bogdanovic, you got Jaden Ivey, you got Isaiah Stewart, Killian Hayes, James Wiseman, Jalen Duren, Marvin Bagley. There's nobody I love on this roster. It seems like with every roster is at least a couple guys that I love. Even when we were just talking about the Rockets, like for his role, I love Jabari Smith as a versatile defender. I love him in that role. I love Alperen Sengun as a center that can play, make, and score in the low post. I love him in that role. But I look at Detroit. I like Ivy, but how good is Ivy really? He's solid, but he shot 41%. He shot 34% from 3. If that goes up next year and I see his decision making get a little bit better, because he did have three turnovers a game and only 5 assists, I want to see if he can really step up his playmaking and his decision making. I want to see him get better, not at just getting to the hole, but finishing at the hole, because he can get there. He's an elite first step. But I want to see him finish better. And it's like with Jaden Ivey, sometimes it feels like he's a football player playing basketball. Just the way he moves, and he's not the most graceful guard I've done seen. I'll leave it at that. I think Killian Hayes has the makeup to be a solid perimeter defender that you will stick on the best guards. Isaiah Stewart, I'm really kind of was impressed with Isaiah Stewart in certain moments. I think Isaiah Stewart is getting better as a shooter, and if he can add that consistently with the way he rebounds, the way he plays hard, I do like him as like a small ball 4 or 5. You can play with him with Duren. I really like Jalen Duren, but then you got Marvin Bagley and James Wiseman. So it's like it's very cluttered with overlapping skill sets in a front court. I probably would consolidate their front court, get some more shooting in there. If I look at the draft, like some players I would like for Detroit, I seen on Pick Aside podcast they was talking about Grady Dick. That's high at 5. So if they want Grady Dick, I will probably trade 5 and trade down for more picks, get Grady Dick and a couple more guys because they need more playmaking, they need more shooting, and they need more scoring. They just simply need a lot of everything. So I don't really know what Monty Williams would do. Monty Williams is a good point guard coach, though. And I think he'll be very good for Ivy and Cade in terms of just running the offense. But I don't know if I'm sold on Ivy and Cade playing together just yet. I don't know, man. I think Cade Cunningham probably isn't a point guard. He probably more of a wing. And if he's a wing, I don't think he'll be that great defending wings. So there is that. I don't know. The Detroit roster is very, very depressing. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. The Detroit roster is very depressing. So if I had to choose between which situation is better between Ime and Monty, I would have to go with Ime and Houston right now, just because Houston is a market that I know people will want to play in if it's the right situation, right coach. I think Ime is the right coach, and I think that's the right situation. They got pieces to trade. They got pieces to keep. You look over there in Detroit, what Monty has, he got pieces. I'd rather have the Houston situation than the Detroit situation. They got a clogged up front court with overlapping skill sets. Your supposed to be superstar player, potential player, doesn't play. Only played 12 games his sophomore year after being hurt his rookie season. And then when the 12 games Cade did play, he wasn't good. They just keep calling spade a spade. He wasn't good. Jaden Ivey, he showed the most flashes on your team, and he's pretty erratic. Bojan Bogdanovic was your best player in Detroit. That's not good, even though I love Bojan Bogdanovic. Link in the description, man. If y'all want to come in the show, man, I dropped the link. Anybody can come on, talk some basketball with me. Right now we're talking about Ime and Monty rebuilding their new teams. This is a new challenge for both them guys, man. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I'd rather have Ime job in Houston, man. Not just because I'm from Dallas and that shit not that far, but I don't think Detroit a good situation, man. They had to make Monty Williams the most highest paid coach in the NBA. This nigga just lost his job in Phoenix, man. And just to get him on board, you have to make him the highest paid coach in the league. I don't think nobody's looking at the Detroit situation like that's an easy fix. And I pride myself on looking at the draft and saying, oh, I could do this with this roster. I could do this with this player. I could do this. I look at the Detroit Pistons roster. I don't know what to do, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. If y'all feel like y'all know what to do, man, drop a comment, hop on. I got the link in the comment section. But I don't know what you would do with Detroit. And then my question is, who do y'all think is in a better situation? Ime or Monty Williams? Ime Udoka or Monty Williams? Ime in Houston, Monty Williams in Detroit. I just want to know. Me personally, I'd rather Ime situation, man. That Detroit situation is the worst situation in the league. Now that I really look at it, that Detroit situation is worse than the Hornets situation, man. That Detroit situation is nasty. Man.
Found some shit I love to do, so I can look comfortable. Searching for a peace of mind, need that when it's time to rhyme. Perfect in every line, any chance I get, and I know it takes time, but I will never quit.